Candidates making their final push to voters ahead of Election Day tomorrow. Welcome to the Noon, and Bianca Peters, Zoran Mamdani, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa have all spent the race's final stretch campaigning at a frenetic pace across the 5 boroughs. Morgan McKay has been following their every move and is here now with more. Morgan, we are down to the wire.
Hey, Bianca, a record number of New Yorkers voted early. More than 735,000 people cast their ballots in the 9 days of early voting. And voters 55 and older made up 44% of the early vote, while voters ages 25 to 34 made up 20% of the vote, with many younger New Yorkers coming out yesterday during that last day of early voting. Zoran Mamdani was up maybe first this morning, leading a sunrise march over the Brooklyn Bridge to City Hall. He stood with elected officials like Attorney General Letitia James, holding a sign with the words, "Our time is now." His supporters chanted "Tax the rich" as they marched. Now, in his closing argument today to voters, Mamdani swore to work to make the city more affordable and to fight President Donald Trump's agenda.
Every voter will consider something different, but ultimately the question before us is very simple: morning versus night. Do we want it to be morning again in New York? Yeah. Where we feel the warmth of the sun on our skin and the possibility inherent and innate to every new day? Or do we want to shiver in the night cast by a politics of fear and self-enrichment? Our time has come, New York. Our time is now.
Now, Andrew Cuomo is headed out to all 5 boroughs today and said that this morning that he believes it's going to be a tight race. Cuomo started his day with a campaign stop at Fordham Road in the Bronx this morning. Now, last night, President Donald Trump says that if he could vote, he would vote for Cuomo. Mamdani hopping on this line of attack right away this morning, but Cuomo dismissing Trump's comments, saying that he's a Democrat while Mamdani is a socialist.
He said, I'd rather have a bad Democrat than a communist. That's what he said. He called me a bad Democrat. First of all, I happen to be a good Democrat and a proud Democrat, and I'm going to stay a proud Democrat. Mamdani is not a communist, he's a socialist. But we don't need a socialist mayor either.
And Curtis Sliwa started his morning at the Coney Island Stillwell Avenue station. He laid a wreath for the woman set on fire on the subway last year. Sliwa has started every morning on the campaign trail at a subway station to highlight his public safety message. Now, later today, Sliwa will be making stops across the city, campaigning on Staten Island, and making a stop in Brooklyn to protest a new homeless shelter.
I believe in people power. It's the people who will determine. Not the billionaires, not the influencers, not the insiders. I trust people. I don't trust politicians. I don't trust billionaires. And I don't trust the insiders. So that's my final words. And I end my campaign as I began my campaign and spent every day of my campaign with the people of New York City on the subway.
And Election Day is tomorrow, Bianca.
What's happening here, Morgan? Thanks for staying on top of that. Meanwhile, New York Governor Kathy Hochul canvassed in Manhattan this morning, encouraging voters to vote yes on affordable housing. So in the back of your ballot, there are 4 ballot measures intended to provide the city with new tools to address the housing affordability crisis. Hochul was joined by Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine and City Council member Keith Powers on the canvass. Meanwhile, voters in New Jersey will pick their next governor tomorrow, Democrat Mikey Sherrill or Republican Jack Ciattarelli. Now, this election could be a very close one. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is live in the newsroom with more on all of this. Lisa.
Well, Bianca, it is the final day of campaigning in the New Jersey race for governor. Polls put Democratic nominee Mikey Sherrill neck and neck with Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli. And both candidates have been waging a fierce battle to win tomorrow, some of the attacks getting even personal. And they're making last-ditch efforts to get out the vote. Democratic Mikey Sherrill is getting high-powered support from Democratic political stars like former President Barack Obama. A suburban mother of 4 and former Navy pilot, she's appealing to women voters concerned about making ends meet. She has a Get Out the Vote rally this afternoon in Union City, and then this evening an Election Eve rally in Montclair. Claire. As for the Republicans, Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli, a businessman, former legislator, and self-described Jersey guy, is working to convince voters he is best equipped to deal with rising taxes and the cost of living. He has 3 campaign events scheduled for this afternoon and early evening in Forked River, Neptune City, and Raritan.
President Trump is a divisive figure in our politics. He's a polarizing figure in our politics. Our politics are divided right now, and people have strong feelings about what's going on across the country and in New Jersey. We have had 8 years of a Democratic governor. Some people want to turn the page. Other people want to continue down the same road. And so this is a time in our politics where there's sort of no in between. There's take a side. And so we're all taking a side, and we're more evenly divided than we've been in the past.
Now, for sure, it's a tight race. It's also a very expensive one. The New Jersey Election Law Commission says this year's tight race for governor is the most expensive in state history, saying it cost more than $145 million. Democrats and Republicans are pumping money into this closely watched race, which some consider a referendum on the current administration. That's the latest from the newsroom. Bianca, back to you.
All right, Lisa, thanks so much. And also remember, for the very latest on either of these races, you can download the free Fox Local app, where you can watch all of our newscasts and tune into the newsroom live throughout the day. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. Let's turn on to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon. We're turning things over to Liv Johnson at the Weather Center. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Bianca. Yeah, pretty cloudy day that we have in store for us, but nice mild temperatures. Already 58 degrees in New York. Same thing down the shore in New Jersey. We're 59 out on Long Island. Some of us have already gotten into the 60s. Bridgeport, Poughkeepsie, both at 60. We have mid-50s for Hartford, and all the way out East Hampton, it's just 55 degrees. So we will climb just a couple more degrees to a high of 60. It's pretty seasonable, a little bit warmer than average for this time of year. Most of us in the upper 50s or low 60s. Now, we do have a chance of a couple showers throughout the tri-state area. I don't think it's going to be in New York City, but just a couple spots that I'll get to in just a second. It's not too breezy right now, about 5 to 15 miles per hour throughout most of the tri-state. We do have some wind gusts up north, so Sussex, Poughkeepsie, and Monticello all a bit windier, but not as bad as last week. So like I said, a couple shower chances. It kind of starts to the southeast. You might see a quick shower down the shore, and then it kind of goes up to the north, so Hartford, parts of the Hudson Valley, and even way out east on Long Island. We all have a chance of just a slight quick shower later in the afternoon, and then we'll be dry for a couple days. Bianca?
All right, perfect, Liv. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, we're following some breaking news now at noon. A guilty verdict for the man who mowed down 4 people with his pickup truck on July 4th, 2024 at a Lower East Side park. Daniel Hayden was found guilty on all 4 counts of second-degree murder for driving right into a crowd celebrating Independence Day. Prosecutors say Hayden was driving drunk and then tried to back up his truck and then flee with the victim still trapped under it. He was also convicted on aggravated vehicular homicide and assault in the second degree. Sentencing is scheduled for December 3rd. Meanwhile, there is lingering fear and uncertainty this afternoon over SNAP funding after a judge demanded the Trump administration release emergency funding to keep food assistance benefits flowing. Officials are warning it is not that simple. Plus, after a heartbreaking wait, the body of an Israeli hostage from Long Island has finally been returned. We're back with some breaking news now. A firefighter is in serious condition at the hospital after responding to a 3-alarm fire in the Bronx. That fire erupting on the top floor of an apartment building on Clay Avenue in the Claremont section this morning. A second firefighter and 2 civilians received minor injuries. But stay with us. We're going to continue to follow this story and update you on the firefighter in the hospital just as soon as we get more information. Meanwhile, police need your help in finding 4 men they say burglarized a warehouse in Brooklyn. This happened on Thursday just after 1:30 in the morning at a commercial business on Stagg Street in East Williamsburg. Now, according to investigators, these suspects entered through a rear door and they got away with about $60,000 worth of merchandise. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-TIPS. Meanwhile, Hamas has finally returned the body of Long Island native Omer Nutra. President Trump confirmed the handover yesterday. The synagogue that Nutra's family attends also posted this news on Facebook. The Nutras will now finally be able to make funeral arrangements for Nutra, who was an IDF tank commander killed on October 7th, 2023. Nutra was one of the 3 hostage bodies that Hamas returned from Gaza on Sunday. The remains of 8 hostages have still not been returned, including 1 American Israeli. And the millions of Americans who depend on federal food assistance still waiting for answers at this hour. Coming up, where the court battle over funding SNAP benefits stands right now. Plus, we are taking a look at the very latest recovery efforts after Hurricane Melissa left a path of destruction across the Caribbean.
Change.
We are following a developing story at this hour. A federal judge has set a deadline for today for the government to decide how to fund SNAP benefits during the shutdown. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini is here to tell us where things currently stand. Stephanie.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of questions right now, Bianca, a lot of uncertainty. We do have some breaking news. As we're coming on the air, the Trump administration says it will partially fund SNAP after a pair of judges ruled to keep the food aid program running. Now, it's not clear how much beneficiaries will receive or when they will get the money back into their cards that allow them to pay for groceries through this SNAP program. Over the weekend, weekend, a surge of people lining up to collect fruit, vegetables, and dry goods from a Bronx food pantry. The Reverend running the pantry saying the uptick in demand is related to the uncertainty with SNAP benefits. The delay in payouts has been expected to leave millions of people short on their grocery bills. Now, meeting the demand for food, the Met Council opening a new community pantry in Brooklyn. The Met Council is a major free, kosher, and halal food distributor with hundreds of running pantries already. This newest location is up and running inside the Met Council's Brooklyn warehouse that's located on Preston Court in East Flatbush. The Met Council CEO talking to Fox 5 News this morning about the importance of this newest location during what is a time of uncertainty for families who rely on SNAP.
I think what makes today such a serious day is that we literally have nearly 2 million New Yorkers who are struggling to make ends meet, and the federal government, unfortunately, is dysfunctional right now.
Costing about $8 billion monthly, that's a national number. SNAP is a food insecurity safety net serving about 1 in 8 Americans. Bianca.
A lot of people relying on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Stephanie, thank you so much for breaking it down for us. Meanwhile, this developing now. Check with your airline before heading to the airport because delays could be extensive. This is due to the government shutdown. The FAA says the slowdown is due to a shortage of air traffic controllers who are now working without pay. On Sunday, New York City Emergency Management capped arrivals at Newark at about 20 planes an hour, roughly half the normal pace. When Newark does slow down, though, the effects ripple across our region, including LaGuardia and JFK airports. Half of the nation's busiest airports are also facing shortages. Now to the recovery efforts following Hurricane Melissa. More rescue and relief teams armed with critical supplies keep trying to access isolated communities in some of the hardest hit regions like western Jamaica. Now, over the weekend, members of a U.S. task force and the Los Angeles Fire Department arrived in Kingston, Jamaica. Many survivors still in disbelief, but thankful to be alive. The trail of destruction is severe, causing some people to travel miles to try and find basic items and check on their family members. Officials visiting disaster sites are focusing on restoring power and cell phone service, and views from the ground and sky showing the scope of Melissa's impacts on the crop fields there in Jamaica and in storm-battered Cuba. Speaking about weather, let's turn now to see what's in store for us this afternoon. A very different situation here. Let's turn things over to Liv Johnson at the Weather Center for the full forecast. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Bianca. So it does look messy on our satellite radar, right? This looks like we're expecting a bunch of bad storms. Not really. We do have a couple shower chances. I touched on it earlier. I'll touch on it again in just a second. But yeah, it looks worse than it actually is. We're not really expected to get much rainfall, just a couple chances throughout the tri-state. Right now, 58 degrees in New York, overcast. Same thing for LaGuardia, 59 and overcast. A little bit more sunshine for Atlantic City. Most of us in the upper 50s. As we go a little bit further west, you see that we cool down. We're in the low 50s, upper 40s for some areas like Buffalo is 50, all the way out in Cleveland, 49 degrees. It's a 50 in Pittsburgh, and then a little bit cooler to the south as well. Philadelphia getting some of that rain, 56 degrees right there. And to the north up in New England, Boston, 56. Most of us in the low to mid 50s. So we'll actually be a little bit warmer than some other areas throughout the Northeast today. We expect a high of 60 degrees in New York and Newark, 61 for Trenton. Even out east, a high of 61 for Islip, but a little cooler for East Hampton, a high of 59. They also have a little bit of a better chance of seeing some rain later this afternoon. 60 is your high in Hartford and Poughkeepsie. Monticello even nice and mild, 56 degrees for your afternoon high. Not too much of an enjoyable day because it is mostly cloudy and we do have a couple chances of rain, but still nice and mild temperatures. So the chances of rain to the south are from this coastal low. Chances of rain to the north of New York City are from this cold front that's moving across. So that's why we have some rain chances in the Hudson Valley, some rain chances out east and also down the shore in New Jersey. I don't think we'll see really rain in New York City. And you can see whatever rain we do see this afternoon, not too bad, right? So just have that chance that's out there, but really don't expect too much. East Hampton, like I said, a higher chance of seeing a little bit more measurable rain, but just a spot shower here and there for some of us in the tri-state. Tomorrow, though, for Election Day, nice and clear, so there's no reason to not go out and vote. A high of 60, a bit more sunshine. Evening shower chance returns Wednesday. We kind of cool down a little bit into the end of the week, and you can just see kind of on and off rain chances throughout the week, and then Saturday morning for your weekend. Bianca?
All right, keep those umbrellas handy. Liv, thanks so much. All right, next at noon, tens of millions of Americans are dealing with diabetes. Coming up, what experts say about how the condition can affect your mental health. Welcome back. Well, November is Diabetes Awareness Month. The very latest data from the CDC reveals more than 38 million people in the U.S. have some form of the disease. Most have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but health experts say there's higher risk for people with type 1 diabetes of also developing mental health issues over time.
We found in that population, the rate of mood symptoms is 2 to 3 times in a population without type 1 diabetes. They're making so many decisions per day, it gets exhausting.
Well, mental health experts say people struggling with burnout, depression, and anxiety should talk to their loved ones and psychology professionals. And obstructive sleep apnea could affect your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. The new study says moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea is associated with a greater risk for microbleeds in the brain. Researchers found that microbleeds increase with age, and people who have them are having a slightly higher risk of future strokes and faster cognitive decline. The study, published in the journal JAMA Network Open, established that more studies are needed to determine if treating sleep apnea can prevent these microbleeds. And changes by the Trump administration could leave you short-changed at McDonald's. McDonald's may not be able to give you exact change if you do pay for your orders in cash. That is because pennies are becoming less available across the country since President Donald Trump ordered the U.S. Treasury to stop producing them earlier this year. McDonald's says due to that shortage, the total price of customer orders will be rounded to the nearest 5 cents. Meanwhile, Martha Stewart is bringing her expertise to Crumble. The lifestyle expert is taking over the chain's entire menu this week with 7 new desserts. The culinary collaboration is in celebration of the reissue of Stewart's first book, Entertaining. Each dessert was co-developed by Stewart and Crumble's menu team. Highlights include the chocolate tart cookie, coconut layer cake, mile high lemon pie, and chocolate chip cookie thin. Crumble fans can try them through Saturday. And Dunkin' Donuts reveals its holiday menu for this year, featuring some old favorites. Along with some new treats added to the menu are the Cookie Butter Cloud Latte and the Berry Sangria Refresher. Those go with returning drinks like Peppermint Mocha and the Toasted White Chocolate Signature Latte. There's also some new food, a raspberry striped croissant, the ultimate bacon jam breakfast sandwich, and a bacon jam grilled cheese. Dunkin's new seasonal menu will be available at all locations starting Wednesday. Meanwhile, next at noon, more on the day's top story, the race for mayor. We're breaking down what you need to know as the clock ticks down towards Election Day. And are you feeling sore from sitting at your desk for too long? There's some new treatment that athletes swear by that could help you bounce back fast.
Without the work of New York City's agencies, your city would look like this. But because your agencies deliver for you, a record number of new homes have been created. Streets are safer with crime down citywide. And there's a brand new universal after-school program for our kids. That's how city agencies are delivering for families, making this the very best place for yours. New York City, delivering for you, every day, everywhere.
on Fox.
All right, it's 12:30 right now. Welcome back to the Noon. We've got a whole lot more coming up here. Starting with this, political reporter Morgan McKay is going to be joining us in just a second to break down the issues in the race for mayor. Plus, have you heard of shockwave therapy? This is for when you're feeling sore and achy or just in need of a boost. We're going to be trying this out live here on the Noon. Stay tuned for that. But let's first get another live look outside on this Monday. A little dreary, but that is Monday. However, as long as there's no active rain, like that's a win.
Right, which we'll have some losses today. We'll have a couple losses, but that's okay, okay? Yeah, it's not going to be too bad. I just want to take you through the rest of your day looking at the conditions and also the temperature. So as we've been talking about, it's nice and mild today, right? We have a high of 60, mostly throughout the tri-state, about upper 50s, low 60s. So don't have to worry about it being too chilly, but we do have those rain chances. They're very spotty, okay? So I just want to tell you guys that some of us will see a little bit of rain at points. Some of us won't see any, but it is a chance. So at 3 o'clock, you see maybe a little sprinkle down the shore. You see it up kind of into the Hudson Valley, Poughkeepsie, Monticello getting a little bit of rain. New York is, I think, mostly going to be dry. We do have kind of a more organized line of showers later in the evening. So you can see 7 o'clock around dinner time, we're getting some showers really throughout the entire state of Connecticut. Maybe that's when New York City will see a quick sprinkle. And then the later it gets, the higher chance you have of seeing some rain if you're way out east, like East Hampton. And then you see going into Rhode Island as well. But then we're already nice and dry. Really, you don't have to worry about rain too much today. It's not our big story, but we just have that chance from a couple systems that are surrounding the area. Tomorrow morning when you get up, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, pretty typical for this time of year, but at least we have clear skies throughout the entire day. We do have wind speeds picking up later tonight, so it will be a bit more breezy. But then we have pretty consistent temperatures for the next couple of days. Tuesday and Wednesday, pretty mild with highs in the upper 50s, low 60s. So like I just said, it's not too breezy right now. We do have some wind gusts up in Poughkeepsie, Monticello, and Sussex. But later tonight, we will see those wind speeds pick up as we have those systems moving a little closer. So again, later tonight, wind speeds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour at their peak. It's not as bad as what we've been dealing with, right? Last week was a really windy week. Tomorrow, 60 degrees and sunny, plenty of sunshine. Wednesday, evening shower. We cool down a bit. Friday, we might have some evening rain that goes into Saturday morning, and then a couple rain chances Sunday. So unfortunately, it looks like kind of a rainy weekend, but at least it's not too chilly yet. Bianca?
Not too chilly. All right, we can definitely take the win on that one. Liv, thanks so much. Meanwhile, New York City's voters facing a major decision tomorrow as Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa square off in the race for mayor. Fox 5's political reporter Morgan McKay joins us now with more on the race. She's been covering this nonstop. I know you might be feeling the voter burnout just yet, but we talked about some of that early information that we got from the early voting. There were some stats and some information. What did you extract from that?
So more than 735,000 people voted early those first 9 days of early voting. And we saw not only a record turnout all 9 days, we also saw a record turnout just yesterday. On Sunday, the last day of early voting, there was the highest number of early voter turnout that day. And so a lot of people were very interested in this race, I think, as it shows from this voter turnout. People were involved. People want to have their voice heard. Now the real tough next point here is, what are people going to do on Election Day? Will just as many people turn out on Election Day? And if that's the case, we could be seeing close to 2 million New Yorkers turning out to vote, which would be a record number of New Yorkers getting out there. So if you haven't voted yet, tomorrow is your last day to vote. Now, from the record data that we also shows that voters 55 and older made up 44% of that early voter turnout. So not quite half, but still a good chunk of older voters. Voters 25 to 34, they made up 20% of the votes. Now, younger voters, they seem to be a lot more energetic about Mamdani. They want to turn out for Mamdani. But still, Mamdani still does pretty well with older voters, while Cuomo tends to poll about even with Mamdani, maybe a little bit better. Mamdani still does pretty well with older voters. So it really could be anyone's race, considering the high voter turnout. All
right, so we'll see what happens tomorrow and get some more information, obviously, as you're going to be covering that. But what are the three candidates up to today, and are they doing any kind of last-ditch efforts that will kind of move the needle a bit?
All three candidates hitting the campaign trail today. Zohran Mamdani, he probably was up the earliest, I would guess. He led a sunrise march over the Brooklyn Bridge to City Hall, and his whole message today is it's a new day. Our time has come, and he says that this is a chance for people to really make a change and make their voices heard in this election. Andrew Cuomo hitting all 5 boroughs, saying that this is a choice between a socialist and a real Democrat, as he calls himself. So he's going out all 5 boroughs today to really campaign, get that vote out for tomorrow. And then Curtis Lewa, same thing. He is campaigning. He's out on Staten Island today. Then he's out in Brooklyn later. And every single morning on the campaign trail so far, he has spent every morning at the campaign and at the subway stop, a different one every time. And so today he also spent his morning at a subway stop. So I'm expecting all 3 candidates to really be pushing out that vote today.
I was going to say, the subway is definitely Curtis's like second home. You know, he's not going to miss the subway stop there. But what about tomorrow? What can we look out for? Anything that would surprise you, or something you're kind of looking for a candidate to do to move the needle here?
Well, we're still looking for a lot of votes. I think in the working class neighborhoods, a lot of people still haven't voted yet. People who are not affiliated with either being a Democrat or Republican, some of those unaffiliated voters, a lot of them also haven't turned out to vote yet. So we're going to be watching to see just who's turning out and where, and just see some of the excitement as well from this race. I think it's been really cool to see just how energetic and how passionate people are about this race. So lots of things to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, we like record voter turnout. That is always some great news there. Morgan, thanks so much for staying on top of this every step of the way.
Thank you.
All right, next at noon, what's a library without plenty of new books? Coming up, why some local libraries say keeping their shelves stocked is about to get a whole lot more difficult. And are you feeling sore after the marathon? There is a new treatment athletes swear by that could help you bounce back a lot quicker.
The Good Feet store.
All right, if your body's feeling tight or achy after the marathon, even if you just walked a couple steps, there is a non-invasive therapy that is getting a whole lot of buzz, and it's already being used by top athletes and marathon runners. It is called shockwave therapy. It uses sound waves to actually break up scar tissue, speed recovery, even boost collagen. Joining me now is Bushra from Beauty and Body NYC to explain how this works and to show us a live demo in studio just a second. I have to, let the people know out here, though. I found out about what you're doing because I go to your practice to see someone else for acupuncture, which I'm a big believer in. So when you told me that you were doing this kind of non-invasive therapy to help people with plantar fasciitis, I said, hold on, what is this whole thing? And now we're here explaining this on the news. So Bushra, tell us really about what shockwave therapy is and how actually it was started. Because when you mentioned that to me, I said, what?
Yes, thank you for having me, Bianca. This is Chattanooga's shockwave device, and shockwave is acoustic energy waves that help repair the body through the body's natural repair response.
Yeah.
So it's a form of regenerative medicine, and what that really means is increased blood flow to an area, zapping the mitochondria, which is the literal powerhouse of the cell, with energy, and in turn that leads to improved tissue repair, advanced tissue repair.
Now, where did they start using this device on first? Because I feel like this happens in medicine all the time. They're using it for something else, and then they figure out it works for this, so they kind of get switched in terms of what it's used for, correct?
Yes, so this was actually first discovered in the 1980s to treat kidney stones.
Interesting.
So it gave patients a non-surgical option to break down kidney stones, and then it was a happy accident where doctors were like, wait, it's actually treating surrounding tissue and improving surrounding tissue.
That's really cool. Okay, so what you're seeing it most, and we're seeing the video here, tell us about what you feel when you're getting one of these treatments.
So you feel rapid pulsing, and it feels like nothing unless, well, the machine itself is investigative in nature, so an area that needs a little TLC, it feels a little bit like a deep throb. And so we deliver the most pulses in those areas, and I like to think of it as healing in real time.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, so we do have someone to try this out on. Zach, come on up. Did you just pick him off the street? Did he run the marathon? What's the connection here?
No, he's a friend, and I was like, you know what, you're going to be a guinea pig today on stage. So.
Okay, so do you have any pains currently right now that you're needing to deal with? Like, what are we hitting? What areas?
So I am a runner. I didn't run the marathon, maybe next year, but I am having some soreness, some pain just from running, in my calf. So I'd love to get a treatment.
Okay, and I know you also mentioned this is really big for a lot of runners and even people that play professional sports.
Yes.
What are you seeing most? Is it mostly runners, mostly like tennis players? Like, who's really coming to use this a lot?
It's dual-pronged, where people definitely do come in with injuries, any tendinous injuries, frozen shoulder, plantar fasciitis, golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, all of that. But we've been using it in our office for marathon runners who, whether they're injured or not, they need that mobility. They need to get out and train. So it's really been bridging the gap with people who normally it would take months of physical therapy to get them there, and so this machine delivers those responses. And
let's hear the sound of this thing first.
Let's do it.
Because we probably got about 25 seconds left. Normally the treatment takes about how long?
5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yep, so this is what it sounds like.
Is it, do you feel that? Like that noise?
It's like a pulsating, kind of sensation, but...
And it doesn't hurt?
It doesn't. If you go over the correct tissue, you're going to feel a little bit of discomfort. You're going to feel it, but no pain.
Can I just feel it on my hand real fast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know what it felt like. Okay, so you're talking about a session like this, you can actually see a difference. And how much does it cost? Where can people find out more information?
Insurance typically does cover it in our office.
That's great.
4 to 10 sessions is the typical frequency. And we're located Midtown, so if you have any tendinous injuries, you know where to find us.
Website?
ActivePTC.com.
All right, perfect. Bushra, thank you so much. Zach,
thank you.
I hope your leg is fixed, healed in 20 seconds or less. Thank you so much for being here. Certainly appreciate it. I need to use some of that on my head. I have a headache. Does that fix that? She's like, no. All right, we're going to have more news straight ahead. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Can you guess who my next guest is based on this clue on Talking with Natasha? I'm so excited to sit down with comedian Cal Penn. He's going to be talking to me about an exciting new project. Monday, live chat, 1:30 p.m., Fox 5 New York YouTube page. See you then. Well, new books may be a bit slow to hit the shelves at your library. The country's largest supplier of library materials has suddenly gone out of business. And as Fox 5's Jody Goldberg shows us, it's putting librarians behind schedule.
At the Bryant Library in Roslyn, every book tells a story, but getting your hands on some of the newer titles may take a little longer.
The covering, the labeling. Previously, like the books often would come covered, so we didn't have to do that. Sometimes you definitely have to do labels. Sometimes they come labeled.
The books that used to come in with barcodes, call numbers, and covers now need added steps after Baker & Taylor, the nation's largest and oldest supplier of library materials, announced it will close its doors in January.
They handle cataloging at the county level. They get books to us that we order in advance. Every public library that relies on them. I mean, there's got to be so many, countless.
An email from Baker & Taylor in September mentioned an acquisition. The CEO later confirmed the deal was called off. But libraries say they didn't get any official notice directly. Rather, the news came through journals, and there's still no note on their website. Now libraries are taking to social media, letting their communities know shelves may be a little empty. Some are even looking for volunteers to help with processing new books.
We have an express pick shelf with 4 brand new books of the same title. People can come in and just grab them. So when we realized that those didn't come in, that was our first big sign. As that happened more and more, we started pivoting to different vendors.
I'm told the ripple effect stretches from small town branches to some of the nation's biggest systems, and that's where the real strain is starting to show.
Some of us are never probably going to receive materials that we ordered, and that budget line is just gone. And some of us are actually getting a flood of materials because materials have been delayed for so long that we've gone to another vendor, and now a heap of books that we've had on back order are coming our way.
With supply chain shifting and shelves taking longer to fill, libraries are looking into new ways to get books to readers.
The future is, I would say, digital. It's more instant, and in this community, especially our community, people want the books right away.
Finding a way to write the next book, one chapter at a time. On Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
Well, coming up, a California man comes up with a brand new way to break your cell phone addiction. Next at noon, to look at his over-the-top invention and details on the price tag. But first, we're celebrating Martini Monday with cocktails from Glass Ceiling. Look how beautiful this place is. Stay with us as we try this live. All right, today on Martini Monday, we are going to enjoy a few drinks from the Glass Ceiling. The rooftop cocktail lounge offers breathtaking city skyline views. Look at this. It is open year-round in the heart of Nomad, and they are known for their signature brunches. Joining us now is Christina Racanelli, Guest Relations Manager at IGC Hospitality. Christina, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, when you look at the video of this place, you're like, what? It's stunning. It's kind of hard to get those unobstructed views in the middle of the city, but you guys kind of found the really sweet spot to put the Glass Ceiling.
Truly, it is. We are an all-season venue, so we are the rooftop vibes are not just for the summer, right? So we have a beautiful glass ceiling, so you can see all of the city skyline from anywhere in the venue. It's really, really cool. We're known as the secret garden in the sky as well, which is really, really nice.
Okay, so now we're taking a look at some of the brunch options here. Like, oh my gosh, no shortage of food there. But you brought drinks for us here today to test this out because you have some beautiful things here on the table. One of them is like, I was looking at this, I was like, wait, is this this is a bag? It's so cute.
Absolutely. So we wanted to create a way for our large groups coming into Glass Ceiling to really be interactive and, just be playful with the cocktails. We have, groups of 5, 8, 10 coming in, doing bottomless brunch.
Yes,
so we thought of doing something on brand with glass, of course, and something just a little bit over the top, a little extravagant.
Okay, so this is one of your signature, I guess, this is like a group cocktail.
Yes.
I mean, you could try to finish it by yourself. I just don't know how, you're going to walk out of there alone. But this is like your group cocktail kind of thing that you have here, these bags. What's the one that we're going to be trying today?
Yes, so these two are our classics right here, and And then this is the Labubu's bag right here.
Labubu's.
So, yeah, as you know, the infamous Labubu's.
Absolutely.
Of course, we have it garnished with one right there. We have a little purse scarf, but this is delightful right here. It is some fresh peach puree, lemon aperitif. I'll pour one up for you
absolutely.
if you'd like. Really, really tasty, very peach forward. Just perfect for the fall. And look at that fall color.
And I was going to say, this one's definitely seasonal, so this is only going to be around for fall and winter, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, on top of the fact that you have beautiful drinks to work with like a whole group of people, you guys do very fun brunches, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people just love doing now in the city. So what is like some of the things that you can experience when you come do brunch at the Glass Ceiling?
Absolutely. So you can definitely do a bottomless brunch, which is very, very popular.
Yeah.
And then we also do bottomless spritzes throughout the week as well.
Okay.
And we don't just do brunch. We do dinner and late night throughout the week as well. But just to focus on brunch a little bit, we have some great brunch dishes as well.
Hold on, this is so good.
So good.
This is so good. I just woke up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this
Good
is
morning.
amazing. This is really good.
So
okay, yeah,
glad.
maybe I could
Yes.
finish one by myself.
mean, you
where
could.
can people find out more about some of the brunches that are going on, some of the group stuff that's happening at Glass Ceiling?
Absolutely. You could go right to our website or our Instagram, Glass Ceiling Rooftop. Yeah, come on down. Come on down. We have a lot of brunch dishes as well, whether you're looking for sweet or savory. We have it all.
Well, I'm going to take that. So we'll just take that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you can take it home.
More news straight ahead. Christina, thanks so much for being here. Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
How cute is that?
Amazing.
Fox Local.
All right, welcome back. Let's get a final check of the forecast with Liv, who is standing by with more. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Bianca. So a high of 60 today in New York. Most of us upper 50s, low 60s. Mainly going to be a cloudy day. We have a couple shower chances throughout the tri-state. Down the shore first and then out east on Long Island, parts of the Hudson Valley and Connecticut. Tonight, a low of 46 degrees. Like I said, cloudy early. Now, we do have calm winds right now, but those wind speeds will pick up as we go into kind of the dinner hours and then definitely those late night hours. Tomorrow's another nice and warm day and actually a lot better because we don't have of any rain chances. It's nice and sunny, a high of 60. Wednesday, also nice and mild, 62, but then we kind of have some evening shower chances that creep in later at night. Thursday and Friday, a bit cooler with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Friday, unfortunately, we are expecting evening rain that takes us into Saturday morning. Bianca?
All right, Liv, thanks so much. Well, that is our show, but before we go, here's one last thing to leave you with. Could you carry around your phone in a 6-pound case? It's made from solid metal. It looks like the first cell phones from the 1980s. The creator, a man in California, has launched a Kickstarter for this case. It works on iPhone 13 and the newer models. The idea is that if it's too heavy to lift or hold for a long time, you'll use it less. So far, he's raised about $17,000 towards getting it in production. The cases will cost about $210. Pretty interesting. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. 25 words or less is next. If you want more news, tune into the Fox local app streaming right now.
I'm hearing music in the, we're good to go? Okay. All right, just got the signal that we're good to go. Welcome to Newsroom Live. I'm Lisa Evers, a reporter and anchor here at Fox 5 News in New York, and I'm joined by my colleague, Morgan Mackay. She's our political reporter, and she also anchors a show called Politics Unusual every Friday. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Lisa.
We have so much to talk about, but first I just want to give you an update a little bit on this story that I've been covering, that we've been covering a lot here at the station. We just got a bulletin that the Trump administration says SNAP, that's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, will be partially funded after this judge's ruling that we reported on here came down on Friday, requiring the food program to continue. It's partial funding. It doesn't look like it's any type of a long-term solution, depending upon how long the government shutdown lasts, but it'll be some relief for these people who have to go into facing Thanksgiving later this month without knowing where they're going to be getting their food from. So we're going to be following that for you. We're going to be giving you updates as we get more information about that, because it's something that's of tremendous importance to a lot of people. And in fact, here in New York State, 3 million people, 2/3 of them are children, who depend on that for food assistance. You have to be at the poverty line or below, which is $31,000 annual income a year or less in order to qualify for the program. So we're watching that closely. But what everyone is talking about here in New York City is this, not even in New York, all over the country, the mayoral race.
Yes.
Now, first of all, the turnout, Morgan.
Huge.
What about this?
So record turnout that we're seeing for the early day, those 9 days of early voting shattered the records for 2021. More than 735,000 people cast their ballots early. And the voter makeup of this early voter turnout, we're seeing voters 55 and older, they're making up 44% of the turnout. And then voters 25 to 34, they're making up 20% of the early voter turnout. And we're looking at all 9 days, and a lot of younger voters came out, especially yesterday. It was one of the highest voter turnouts that we've seen out of all the 9 days. And so people are really encouraged. You speak to experts, and experts, though, are split on what this means. Some people say that this is going to mean that we're going to see just as many people turn out on Election Day. Others say that this means that maybe fewer people are going to turn out on Election Day, but a lot of people really hoping for 2 million New Yorkers to come out to vote. That would be a really exciting thing to see. I think that many people really coming out, making their voices heard. As you mentioned, this race has gotten national attention. It's gotten New Yorkers really excited, and I think a lot of people feel very passionately about whoever they are voting for this year.
No, absolutely. But what about the demographics? Because, you know, there was a lot of talk about Mamdani having a very young group of supporters, but he had this incredible outreach campaign and canvassing and ground teams, many teams going out everywhere, and that the older voters, that would benefit Cuomo. What's the thinking on that now?
So a lot of people looked at what happened in the primary, and they saw that Mamdani was able to get out a record number of young voters that wasn't really seen before in any sort of election cycle. He was able to energize young voters. That's something that Democrats especially, but Republicans as well, have really been trying to reach, this younger voter turnout, and they've really been trying to reach younger voters and get them out to vote, because historically younger voters don't really turn out to vote. But this year in the Democratic primary, we saw a ton of younger voters turning out for Mamdani, and this year we're seeing it as well. However, when it comes to older voters, most polls show that Cuomo is doing either a little bit better than Mamdani, or they're breaking about even when it comes to older voters. So people saw that this older voter turnout, some experts say that this looks really good for Cuomo, and Cuomo's campaign is really hoping that this as well looks good for them. They're hoping that these older voters go and vote for him. We're seeing some people who haven't really voted in the past also voting in this election. It's hard to say, though. A lot of the experts I've been speaking to say it's not quite as black and white as saying all the older voters are going to go vote for Cuomo and all the younger voters are just voting for Mamdani. It's likely to be pretty split, and it's hard to say right now because we also have Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa really capturing Republicans right now. I think a lot of Republicans aren't quite swayed by some of Cuomo's arguments, saying that that Sliwa shouldn't be considered in this race. I think some Republicans still hold a lot of bitterness to Cuomo for things like some of the allegations around the COVID-related nursing home deaths and the sexual harassment allegations. So a lot of Republicans, and bail reform and Tier 6, for example, when it comes to pensions. So I think some Republicans will never quite go and vote for Cuomo. However, I do think that it's going to be hard to say just because of such a high voter turnout. Many experts say that the polls can't really accurately depict what will happen just because of this high voter turnout.
Right, and then you look at it for Cuomo. He's hoping that these older voters are going to come for him. Are there enough of them to offset a surge for Mamdani if there's a surge in person voting tomorrow?
It's unclear right now. They can't view any of the votes until Election Day. So they're right now at all the 9 days of early voting. I wish they could kind of count and see where we were standing right now, but no. They can't open them until Election Day. So it's just hard to see right now. What we're seeing, as well as some of the wealthier neighborhoods, they've come out to vote. We're still waiting to see the working class neighborhoods. They haven't come out to vote yet. They typically come out to vote usually during election time. I know I like to vote on Election Day. And so I think, we're still kind of waiting to see who turns out and where. And a lot of New Yorkers who are unaffiliated, so people who are maybe not a registered Democrat or a registered Republican, they also haven't really turned out to vote quite as much. So we're waiting for those independents as well to see where they vote, and who knows where they will vote in this election.
Right, and then it'll be amazing if there's an in-person turnout that's record-setting tomorrow too, because this was record-setting for early voting.
Yep.
And
turnout,
so
right?
I know. So a lot of people are really hoping 2 million. I'm hoping for 2 million because I always think it's nice when you have a high voter turnout, when a lot of people come out to vote, because then it's easier to say that, you know, everyone made their voices heard and here are the results.
Right, as opposed to if it's a nail biter and it's very close, and then there can be all the questions about the ballots and about the voting process and who was given access, who wasn't, and all of those types of questions.
Hopefully we learn where the vote stands. Hopefully they call the race by 10 p.m. tomorrow night. That would be great. Polls close at 9 p.m. tomorrow. If they could call the race by 10 p.m. tomorrow, I would be a very happy woman.
I think we all. But what about any word on how long it's going to take them to count those early votes?
So the nice part is that due to a law passed in the New York State Legislature quite a few years ago, they can start counting ballots, I believe absentee ballots, but they have to wait until Election Day to really announce who has won. But this way, they can kind of get started a little bit sooner, so they don't have to open all of them right on Election Day.
So you're really hoping for a 10
p.m. So I'm really hoping for Election Day, 10 p.m.
I think we all are.
Yeah, but we'll see how many people turn out to vote tomorrow. So hopefully it's a huge turnout tomorrow.
Definitely. Can you stay with us a couple more minutes and then we'll come back. We're going to take a short break. This is Newsroom Live from the Fox 5 New York newsroom. I'm Lisa Evers. I'm joined by my colleague Morgan Mackay, political reporter and anchor of Politics Unusual. A great show, all about politics, unusual, and a wonderful guest that's here on Friday nights on Fox 5 and Fox Local, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Newsroom Live. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News reporter and anchor. This is Newsroom Live from our Fox 5 New York newsroom. I'm joined by my colleague Morgan Mackay. She's our political reporter and also anchor of the show Politics Unusual that you can see on Fox 5 here on Friday evenings and also on the Fox Local app. You can catch up on all the episodes. Morgan, the kind of the hits and the misses of the candidates and the closing arguments. Can you break that down for us? Like, what do you think the main points are that were really resonating?
Exactly. So today what we had is Zohran Mamdani. He was maybe up the earliest this morning. He was marching at 7 a.m. Across Brooklyn Bridge and over to City Hall. And he was standing with elected officials like State Attorney General Letitia James and some others. And they had a big sign that said, our time is now. And that's really been his message to voters, supporters, especially in these final days, that this is a time for especially younger voters, maybe voters who feel a little disenfranchised, maybe voters who are frustrated with the system. He says that he's a mayor for these types of voters, and he says that this is the time for when their voice can really be heard. So that's the message that he's been trying to lay out. He's also been really, this week we've seen, reaching out to older New Yorkers as well. Partly because of what we were talking about earlier, that some of these older voters we're seeing this high voter turnout, that Cuomo could potentially be doing a little bit better among older voters than Mamdani. So Mamdani really has been speaking to older New Yorkers, saying that affordability isn't just a young person message, it's an everyone's issue. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's an issue for everybody. Speaking about how long it takes for some seniors to get into senior housing. And so he says today that he also is going to be fighting back against President Donald Trump, using particularly lawsuits. That's something else that some people have been a little bit concerned about with electing Mamdani. Some voters have said that they're a little worried that President Trump is going to come in, as he said he would.
Well, he's already said again. He said again this week.
Exactly.
Right.
And so a lot of New Yorkers, or excuse me, I should say some of the New Yorkers who are maybe more on the fence about him, that's something that they've brought up, a concern is about how he might respond to President Trump's attacks if he's elected. So today he's really been making clear that if he were to be elected, he would be somebody who would be able to fight back. Also just showing to his energy, saying that he's somebody who has the energy, the will to fight back as well. Then we got Andrew Cuomo. He was out all weekend, and this morning he's been trying to hit all 5 boroughs this morning. He started out in the Bronx. Now his message has really been that he is the experienced mayor. He's somebody who, you might not see a ton of change, but he's going to be somebody who's going to keep things on the right path. And he also has made it clear that if President Trump comes in, he's the one who has a history, has a record to stand up against Trump. Now, that record's a double-edged sword a little bit, so
right.
He definitely has been hit on that. And Trump's comments just yesterday saying that if he were a
bad Democrat is better than a socialist.
Exactly.
Right.
It's kind of saying that he would be voting for Cuomo.
Right.
And Cuomo was saying, trying to dismiss that, trying to wave that away, saying, no, he's a good Democrat, so we couldn't be talking about him. So he said that, again, trying to really make this distinction between him and Mamdani, that he's a Democrat and Mamdani's a socialist. Sometimes he calls him a communist, but he is a socialist. So he's been trying to just really hit on this message that he's not Mamdani and people can trust him to at least keep things relatively the same in New York City. And then you've got Curtis Sliwa. He has been somebody who has been hitting the subways every single day, really reaching voters on the subway, talking about his message of public safety. And he's somebody that I think may do a little bit better than polls show. I think some Republicans are really going to turn out, especially on Staten Island, for Curtis Sliwa. But it's hard to say because we're also seeing some top Republicans say, don't vote for Curtis Sliwa, vote for Cuomo.
It's a vote for Mamdani, right.
Exactly. And they're saying, that voting for Sliwa is a vote for Mamdani, so people should go ahead and vote for Cuomo. We saw Councilman Joe Borelli. He's a former council minority leader. He said he's voting for Cuomo, and they had a lot of beef going back. You had Councilwoman Ina Virenkov. She says she's voting for Cuomo, even did an ad for him.
Wow.
Campaign for him. And she says that she's voting for Cuomo because she's just worried about Sliwa's chances and when she wants to stop Mamdani. So you are seeing this this effort by some Republicans to have some Republicans switch their votes. But it's a hard thing because you've had the GOP for the last 10 years while Cuomo was governor, blaming everything and anything wrong in the city on Cuomo. So It's a hard thing to now shift that focus. But it's gonna all come down. But Sliwa, again, today really making the message clear that he is somebody who's truly cared about New York City for decades now, and that he is somebody who can be trusted to lead the city because he is truly someone who knows New York City.
So Morgan, let me ask you this, because you follow this very closely, like 24/7. Is it really at this point, because there was a lot of talk early on and we did a lot of reports on it about the issues, the affordability issue, the public safety issue always coming up to be the top two. But at the end of the day, does it come down to personalities?
I think it always comes down to personalities a little bit. I think politicians are, especially even now more so in the digital age, I think it's all about how you speak and how well you speak and the I guess, magnetic energy that you have among people, and you can definitely see that with all of these three candidates. I think all three are definitely characters in their own right. I think you saw that on SNL this weekend.
Right.
All three are just such interesting characters and people. But you definitely have to see. I think, at some point it is, who they are as a person, but it's definitely their message as well. And I think right now affordability is such a huge issue in New York City. And from a lot of voters I've been speaking to, a lot of experts, I think affordability is definitely front of mind this election cycle. I think in the past we've often seen public safety be something that's really important for voters. I think right now New York City is in a good place, thanks in part to Mayor Eric Adams when it comes to public safety. And so I think that right now voters are more concerned with
about how they're going to pay their bills, especially with all the uncertainty that's coming along. And then you look at all three of them, and you look at these candidates, and then in terms of the actual campaigning that they've done, the aggressiveness, because Cuomo was criticized for a while for just not being out there and kind of late to the party for getting out in the community.
Yep. So we saw Mamdani. So Mamdani launched his campaign at the end of last year, and he has been hitting the pavement, going door to door, knocking on doors really for a year now. And that's really what we saw from his primary campaign, is that he was somebody out there all the time. And now it's so different, of course, but, I was talking with some other reporters about how back in the primary, there were times I would run up to his news conference and not have the time to stay for his news conference and just grab him quickly beforehand.
Right.
Now, there's no shot at doing that. Now he walks down the street no matter where he goes, and he's completely mobbed by people just wanting to picture with him, shake his hand, whatever. And then, we've seen with Cuomo, it was his downfall during the primary. He did almost no campaigning. And then even when he announced that he was running for re-election, he was out campaigning a little bit, but he really didn't pick up his pace for campaigning until the past few weeks. And
that's what it seemed like to me. That's why I wanted to see if that was accurate.
Yes, and so he really, I feel like the past few weeks decided that maybe he really does want this, and he's out there. Especially today, over the weekend, he's been out really trying to campaign, really talking to voters. Some experts have said he should have been doing this a month, 2 months ago, and he might have maybe a better shot than what the polls say now. But at the same time, a lot of voters are just now paying attention. So he definitely, still has his message front and center to voters who are just paying attention and just kind of getting around to maybe saying, wait, there's an election tomorrow. Where do we stand?
And the other thing too, then we know you got to get ready for the coming shows and the reports. Just a final question. It's like there was never, a lot of people kept saying, okay, well, the debate's going to be a defining moment. This ranking of the three of them, this 1, 2, and 3 with Mamdani always ahead, Cuomo second, Sliwa trailing behind, but kind of, and Sliwa and Cuomo kind of going up a little bit, down a little bit, but Mamdani always far in the lead. There was never any, do you think there was ever any defining moment where the whole thing could have shifted in one way or another?
I think that, Mamdani has shown that he's in the lead in almost every single poll. How much of a lead differs pretty wildly, actually, from some of the polls. He has a 16, 25-point lead. Others have him at more of a 10-point lead. But he's usually leading by double digits in most of the polls. But again, it's hard to say when you have such a high voter turnout. It really sort of shatters all of the polls' expectations, all of their models, when you have voters who maybe never voted before, said they weren't going to vote this year, coming out to vote. So it's really...
It's anybody's guess at this point.
It's anybody's guess, I feel like, at this point. That's where experts are a lot right now.
And that's what will make it must see and must watch. But Morgan, we know you have to get going, but thank you so much for being with us for this. Morgan Mackay, our Fox 5 political correspondent, political reporter, and anchor of Politics Unusual. And we're going to have a lot of coverage here on Fox 5 and on the Fox Local app with real-time trackers to help give you information. A lot of coverage happening here as well. We've got Battleground NYC at 7 o'clock live tomorrow. You're going to be live like nonstop throughout everything on every platform going all over from set to set.
We'll have reporters at every campaign headquarters.
Headquarters. So keep it locked here. Make sure you have the app. on your phone if you're watching on your TV. So wherever you are, you can check it out. But thank you so much. Really appreciate all the insight and getting us ready for tomorrow.
I'm ready.
We really appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a short break. This is Newsroom Live. When we come back, big factor was a big factor in the primary, the weather in the Democratic primary. We're going to find out what our weather's going to be like for Election Day here in the New York area. Coming up with Liv Johnson. Stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome back to Newsroom Live. You're looking at a live picture here of beautiful New York City. And what we are talking about, one day away, Election Day is tomorrow. And, we're going to take a look at what the weather's like. I'm Lisa Evers, your host for Newsroom Live. And I'm joined by my colleague, Liv Johnson. And Liv, great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And great weather tomorrow.
Really?
I'll just get right to it.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Your Election Day weather is really good, like sunny, 60 degrees as your high. So yeah, there's no reason to stay inside and not vote.
It's going to be nice.
It's going to be nice.
Pretty good for November.
Pretty good for November. Things kind of take a turn later this week. It gets a little cooler. We have a kind of a rainy weekend. But tomorrow is all good. Ooh, those numbers aren't right. You guys, sorry. Sometimes we use a different 7-day than I.
A different 4?
Yes.
Oh, that you do.
On the noon, it was from a different. But you know what?
So let's just figure out in general. Like tomorrow, like you're saying, 60s.
Right. Thankfully, I know it by heart, so I can tell you.
Okay.
Well, today, if we want to talk about today too, a high of about same thing, like 59, 60.
Nice.
There are some rain chances. It was really hard to try to forecast where exactly there will be rain, if I'm being honest. I don't think New York City, but I think some in the Hudson Valley, a little bit of rain out on Long Island, a little bit of rain down the shore, but just like a quick shower that will pass through, probably after 3.
Not like a big downpour.
No, not at all. Most of us probably won't even see rain, but yeah, anytime after 3, things become spotty, so you might see some rain tonight. Winds pick up because it's pretty calm right now, but later tonight, those wind gusts will pick up into Tuesday, and then Tuesday's a gorgeous day.
Election Day's a gorgeous day.
Election Day's a gorgeous day.
Okay, so everyone get out and vote if you haven't voted early already.
Wednesday, things stay pretty nice, but we do have a chance of some evening rain. Thursday, Friday, cooler, and then rain kind of going from Friday night through the weekend.
Well, we had a nice weekend.
We had a really nice weekend. Marathon.
New York City
that
Marathon.
Weather was great. Yeah, so like the two important days that we have right now was marathon.
Halloween.
Halloween, but that was windy.
That was
windy. Did you like go out and about?
No, I was working and we were freezing. I had to pull the heavy down jacket out of the trunk of the car.
It was ridiculous. Like
it got really cold.
I'm like 6 feet tall and I was getting blown.
Yeah.
So just really windy on Friday. But yeah, like our marathon and election day, both nice.
No, that's fantastic.
Great conditions.
All right, maybe a little rain this weekend, but we'll, you know.
Yeah.
We'll just.
Aren't we tired anyway? We had so much going on.
We want to deal with it. So storm season, are we going into a storm season, coming out of the storm season, or?
The tri-state is a little different in which we do kind of see showers and thunderstorms a little later into the year than you might expect, because you always associate that with summertime. But no, I mean, we're almost out of hurricane season for one. That's until November 30th. But yeah, I mean, I just know from here on out those temperatures are going to start dropping.
Yeah.
And then winter starts December 21st.
I know. We always start out in November going, oh, this isn't that
Right,
bad.
we're like,
It's
this
60
is
degrees. I just
awesome.
wear
Yeah.
like a little leather jacket.
Right,
or,
exactly.
You know, I don't need to all bulk up with
Right.
all the scarf, the gloves,
Right,
the hat,
exactly, I know.
all that kind of stuff. But
if we can get through the end of the year without having to do all that, that would be awesome.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, definitely will. And anything else we need to know about the weather coming up for Election Day? I mean, it sounds no
It's
rain,
going to
not
be
even a
good,
chance of
yeah,
rain, right?
Yeah, no rain chances. Not even going to be that windy. More sunny than today. Like today's mostly cloudy.
You can
so,
see
yeah.
here, that's
Right.
Avenue of the Americas right there, 6th Avenue, Midtown Manhattan.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, today's pretty dreary. At least it's not too cold. But yeah, no. Tomorrow we're good to go.
We're
We
good
can
to
get out
go.
and vote. No excuses.
No excuses whatsoever. You heard Liv. Okay. Thank you so
Everybody, welcome to Talking with Natasha. I'm here with comedian Cal Penn.
How are you?
Great to see you. I'm
Great
good.
to see you. Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Beautiful day outside.
It
not
is
too
nice.
cold.
Yeah. Do you like when the temperature starts to change? You fan of fall?
I'm a weird, so I like it when it's warm. I like it when it's freezing cold. If it's between to me, between 40 and 55 is the coldest I feel. Like my feet and nose, I have a big nose. They are cold during those temperatures. Below that, and you're bundled up, and it's great. Yeah.
So like 20 degrees, you're fine.
I'm fine at 20.
Okay. Is it just the
Fine at 80. It's just that little.
It's that one range where things just start to go downhill for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we met at a party where when I walked in, it was like full of women wearing gala dresses, and I was in jeans. And then I run into you, and I'm like, oh, you're the other underdressed person, just like me. We're going to be friends now.
Totally. I appreciated that so much because sometimes you get an invite to something and you don't know, like, is it.
What's the attire?
Like, what's the attire? And neither of us looked bad, but it was very clear that we were underdressed.
Yeah.
I'm glad we bonded off of that.
I'm glad too. Okay, so you're a Jersey boy.
Yep.
And now you live here in New York.
I do.
Who's got better bagels?
Oh, man, what are you trying to do?
I'm putting you on the spot now.
This is the most controversial question. I will say I'll go with Jersey, but New York's got better pizza.
Okay. Pizza. I feel like pizza is very important. Yes. I mean, that is where the controversy begins. But it's all in the water when you make the bagels.
Yeah, that's right. And probably then the core memory of just like the first bagels you ate are the Jersey bagels, right?
Yeah.
So,
is there a favorite Jersey bagel place that you go to?
I think it closed the last couple of years, but there's a place called Eli's Bagels on Route 34 in Aberdeen, New Jersey.
Okay.
Which was sort of on the way to the nearest train station coming to the city. So that was like that's where we would pick up bagels as kids, but then also if you were like running late and you had a meeting in the city, pop in there, get yourself a bagel sandwich, hop on the train.
Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to eat on the train, but New Jersey Transit has bigger problems than me eating on the train.
Their trains don't always run, so
they don't always run, and you can't see through the window, which is ludicrous.
Yeah. Well, so okay, I'm glad you bring up NJ Transit because I just listened to your newest podcast episode with former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg of like, why is history repeating itself? Why isn't the transportation? Why isn't it working? And I'm really interested in this new podcast you launched. It's called Here We Go Again. Yep. Why did you decide that you wanted to delve into history?
So, obviously, like every actor has a podcast, and I listen to a lot of them, and I love the format. But I just sort of thought, unless there's a real hook that I enjoy, I don't. There are people far funnier than me, far more intelligent, far more thoughtful. I'm happy to listen to all those things. I don't necessarily need to contribute to the conversation. And then I was talking to Ed Helms' company, and they had this idea for a podcast that they wanted to be funny and uplifting, but also looked at not politics, but like pop culture, history, government, how those things all intersect in a way that isn't doom and gloom. And so we like fleshed out this idea for Here We Go Again, which is essentially like you pick a topic, or I pick a topic in pop culture and history, and we look at how that history repeats itself. So I'll give you an example. You mentioned Pete Buttigieg, right?
Yeah.
So he was just transportation secretary, love him or hate him politically, irrelevant to our conversation. Our conversation was about like, okay, we've had bridge collapses, trains don't necessarily run. Why is it my like big pet peeve that I got to ask him was like, how come every time if your flight is actually shockingly early, like there's no gate for your plane? Like how do these things keep happening? And so it was a fun and light conversation, but I also like learned a lot about infrastructure, which is a really boring word and not what I would ever want to pitch a podcast as. Another episode we had was Bill Nye.
Yes, the space race.
He was my first guest.
Wow.
And I'm a big astronomy nerd. This jacket is too small for me to pull up the sleeves.
You got a tattoo.
Got a couple of tattoos that are all astronomy related.
Really?
So
well, I see that one peeking out.
Yeah, the one peeking out here. So Bill is like, obviously he's the science guy. He runs the Planetary Society. So having him on to talk about the space race, like back in the day in the 80s and 90s, the space race was between superpowers. It was the U.S. versus the Soviet Union, and it was all publicly funded, or mostly publicly funded. And today it seems like the space race is all between billionaires.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask him, like, what's changed? Why has this shifted a little bit? Why do you have to be a billionaire to go to space? Why is NASA not being funded the way that it used to? So it's that kind of stuff where I'm like, we all love Bill Nye and we all love these sorts of topics. So it was like, that was the